All right, so we are going to begin the second part of this factoring journey where we just start looking at some new different problem types. We've learned how to factor, but only in a very specific way. So for example, if we had a problem like this, plus 3x plus 4, something like this, we know how to factor this because the a value is 1. But it turns out that it's a little bit different when the a value is not 1. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to start this by jumping into, this is actually the example problem, which is number 2. So this is problem number 2 on your classwork. And so it's almost the same, but there's just an extra step, okay? And so we want to focus on that extra step. So I'm going to go through most of this just like we've kind of done so far. So the first thing I need to do, I kind of have it outlined here. So we're going to follow this outline. Well, we need to find my first step, A, B, and C. So A is going to be 3, B is going to be negative 11, and C is going to be negative 4. Well, now that our A is not 1, this is where it becomes really important when we're setting up our diamond. Make sure you're actually multiplying these. So 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. And then B is negative 11. And now we're going to find two numbers that multiply together to get negative 12, add together to get negative 11. And so it could be a couple different ones, but you know, if you're ever unsure, just start listing out some of the things. So negative 12 times 1, right? That's the one you should always start with. Well, what's negative 12 plus 1? Well, it's negative 11. So that's going to be your solution as well. So negative 12 and 1. And so again, those are going to go into your form. So x minus 12 and then x plus 1. Now here's the thing. If you were to go and distribute this, you do not end up with this equation. You get x squared plus, what's it, 11x minus 12. That is not what we have here, okay? So there's another step, and that's what this next step is going to be. So the next step is called divide and slide. Okay, and it's really broken into two different pieces. So the first thing that you want to do is you're going to divide by A. So what your A is 3. So you're going to divide. Where are you going to divide? Well, you're going to divide this second part of the, so just this number here. So the negative 12 divided by 3. And then we'll do the 1 divided by 3. Okay, so that's where the divide comes into play. So now we got to simplify this. So let's see, what do we have? Well, negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. So that just becomes, we keep the x, so that just becomes negative 4. Okay, now what about this one? 1 divided by 3. Now that's a decimal. You definitely don't want decimals in factoring ever. So you never ever want to get a decimal. So what you pay close attention to this because it can be confusing. What you do here is this is where the slide comes into play, is this part. So when you are going to divide and it becomes a fraction, what you actually do is you slide that 3 up in front of the x. And so let me just show you what it looks like. So this is our divide. Okay, that worked. We're still dividing, but it won't divide evenly, so we slide it up in front of that x. And so this becomes 3x, and then we just keep the 1, so plus 1. And that is your factored form right here. And so all we're doing today is focusing on getting the factored form. We don't need to find the zeros or anything right now, just finding this factored form. Let's prove it really quick. So if I were to go and distribute this, so let's just go backwards. Distribute x times 3x is 3x squared. X times 1 is x. Negative 4 times 3x is negative 12x. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. If I combine my like terms, we get 3x squared. X minus 12 is negative 11x minus 4. Did we end up with what we started with? We sure did. So divide and slide does work. You don't need to prove it. You just need to get that form though. Okay, there you go.